Welcome to Warrior of Compassion Study number 7. The title of this one is A Journey Out of the Existing Paradigm. Remember, this was written way back around the year 2000, before pop culture started talking about paradigm and paradigm shifts and energy and all of the things that everyone is talking about now. This was done early. It's very authentic, without all of the bells and the whistles that we hear nowadays. And so we will begin reading study number 7. Introduction. You are now at the end of your initiate phase. If you have been reading your lessons and doing your exercises, you have been moving closer and closer to what many of the unenlightened call truth. You are gaining an understanding about the world that we, as human beings, are coerced into living in and forced into perceiving as the only reality. The next 3 lessons will be what are considered your crossing over the Jordan River. You will learn the art of transforming fear, anger, and hatred into the power to do and walk in love. You will learn to recreate this world, the one in which we live, into a world of love and empowerment for everyone. This is the end of initiation, but the beginning of yet another long journey out of the existing paradigm of Western civilization. There is a domination/submission paradigm that underlies what is often understood as reality in this world. For the unenlightened understanding, this reality is what is known as truth. Understanding this reality, however, has nothing to do with truth. One must understand much more than this reality to have real truth. One must understand this reality and its working, and be able to compare it and contrast it to the one ultimate reality. You are at the end of your initiation stage. If you have completed these exercises and digested the lessons, chewing on what you have read, dismissing through inner argument and reasoning what you could not accept, and holding on and building on what you do accept, if you have looked out into the larger world and have seen for yourself that this pyramid is the way that things happen, you have changed as an individual. Your ego boundaries have become more permeable. You have not only come closer to understanding the nature of this thing called Western civilization, you have come closer to understanding the nature of the self. For the ego, if you will regard it, is simply an internalization of the pyramid. It is a part of the mind that was developed to operate and cooperate with this set of preconceived, dominator, suppressive notions. It was developed so that we could accept this view of nature and the world as the real world, and live by the rules of this world while we are here. Our ego, therefore, is the harbinger of karma. When I speak of karma, I am not speaking of sins that one has carried over from some other life. I am not speaking of illness or stupidity that one has to overcome in this life to move up. Moving up is part of the pyramid mentality. Moving up is part of this world mentality. I'm speaking about opportunity when I speak of karma. Karma is the recognition of one's limitations. When one recognizes his or her own limitations, by virtue of that recognition, he or she can overcome them and then move to a greater understanding of her or himself and actual reality. One expands and moves out, filling all parts of the universe. Karma is a gift to every being. Karma is the expression of the self. It is the character, or the stencil, through which the soul and spirit distinguishes itself from other souls and spirits. It is the choice of our personal lesson plan, also, so to speak. We express who we are on this limited plane through karma. When one begins to enter into the real world and out of the world of Maya, one no longer needs to stencil oneself for self-expression or for comfort. One knows that he or she is much greater than any earthly form. One's ego boundaries dissolve, and then the ego can be entered into and exited with the ease of walking through an open door. One who does attain this understanding, however, still needs a stencil so that those who are unenlightened can understand her or him. That is why many of the great teachers in the past have spoken in parable or metaphor. This was done to hang the hidden truths onto a framework that the less enlightened could understand. Over the past several months, you have been working to see your stencil. In the next several months, you will be working to create a new stencil, the stencil that you desire. Firstly, you will work on your own mind and your own way of understanding the world by learning to let go of the comfortable and move into the real. Looking into the eye of fear and the fearful is the way of the warrior. When this happens, fear is not something that thwarts our progress or causes us to freeze in our tracks. It is something that energizes us to move forward in strength, courage, and fortitude. Capture your fear. Train it, accept it, and channel it. When this is done over several months, several years, you will find that your fear is often more of an intuitive gift than a curse. Learning how to control our fear and have an intimate relationship with it is essential for the survival of a warrior as one comes to know his or herself and to cleanse his or herself of the false ideas and a false self-image. Something happens. One can see clearly. Once that happens, the fear that is out of place and overblown because we lack understanding about its purpose and nature is brought under control and embraced. It becomes what some call the sixth sense. One begins to discern by reading one's own fear when he is mentally and spiritually healthy. Walking down the street, walking through a crowd, lying in bed alone at night may stir up a feeling of discomfort. If one is centered and one's psyche is clean, one can distinguish whether there is a real danger or not. The fear serves as a warning system sometimes. When fear does not happen because of an unrecognized residual emotion left over from previous experiences, it serves a great purpose. Through knowing oneself, one knows if the fear is real or just residual. There is something that people call street smarts. It is a way of surviving in violent streets and in neighborhoods that are like war zones. The secret to surviving or not surviving is all in the head and the heart. There are certain places where one should not go, or certain times when a negative vibe seems to waft up into the air. Those who are sensitive to the feeling know to leave when the atmosphere changes. The average American who has not been raised in such circumstances often feels nothing and ends up being a victim. This type of understanding is nothing new. It is something that can be learned. Many soldiers, police officers, and others who work in unpredictable atmospheres have developed what they call a gut instinct. This is the same thing that I am speaking of by a different name. It happens when the head and heart are in full communication with each other. The intellect is used to discern what the heart is saying and then to decide how to act on the information. This is the natural way. The way that we have adopted in our society is the opposite. The head often understands and then tries to tell the heart how to feel. That is why there are so many emotional problems in this age. For the last 7 months you have been working at reclaiming your identity. It is time to begin to learn how to help others around you begin to reclaim theirs. The first thing to do is to become very familiar with this information. If you find someone who is interested in such information, begin to have discussions with them about it. The more you discuss it, the more you will know. And as you begin to understand it fully, and you are sure that you understand it enough, teach it. Add it into your repertoire of lessons. Talk about it on listservs or in chat rooms. Write articles about it. If you speak a bit about it. Begin to help others explore their thoughts about the world. Help them begin to look at the larger society so they can begin to dissect it and get beyond all of the popular, unchallenged notions. Prepare to teach. This is your last lesson as an initiate. After you cross the Jordan, you will be a teacher of reality. You will soon be asked, if at all possible, to take on a student with whom you will converse. Be ready. The universe will send you a student. He or she may not be who or what you expect, but listen to your heart and head and be willing to guide her or him into more truth. Share these lessons with him or her, or share these ideas with a group of people if you feel led. Let them know, even if you do not invite them in, that you are a member of the Warrior of Compassion Guild. Let them know about our goal. What is our goal? To reclaim the power that we have given away and to work to make the world a just, equitable, and blessed place for all people and creatures. Let me repeat that one more time. To reclaim the power that we have given away and to work to make the world a just, equitable, and blessed place for all people and creatures. This is the end of section number 1. We will be posting section number 2 in about a week or so. The section titled FYC, or for your consideration. Namaste, everyone. If you'd like to find out more about us, visit our website at www.nextstepcoaching.mysite.com, www.nextstepcoaching.mysite.com, and you can find other lessons like this if it is the first one you have come across right on minds.com. Namaste.